First of all, I mm, when my most typical audience was Russian speakers, both in Russia and in diaspora, most of my repertoire was my own Russian songs with lots of references to Russian culture, and which actually implies some knowledge of it, and or at least by the language from the audience. But interestingly, it does not necessarily imply this, because in this case, my songs technically are full of quotations, references, wordplays, literature, quotations or references. So they are technically postmodern because they are pastiche, and sometimes they are, like, they refer to high literature, but intentionally they are very unpostmodern because they, in fact, they address hearts rather than minds. The nonverbal message, the nonverbal message, the intuitive message, the vibration, in many ways is more important than these details. These details are rather, for me, some kind of fuel which is supposed to be burnt in the song. For the audience, it's a bonus if they know. Also, they can share the experience of recognition. Some people understand Yiddish, and later I decided to incorporate some foreign or alien stylistically or linguistically foreign things, and then it enriched the whole show with this mode. So I enable the audience to share the experience of recognizing things. Some people recognize the Yiddish nigun, and some people recognize the reference to Pushkin. Some people understand that the music is actually Schubert, Ave Maria, and some people understand other things, and they like energetically they share this, the mood. So the nonverbal message is rather important. And as speaking about foreign languages, they work much like spells. They work much like nonverbal, like music, we could say, like music, like sound art, like they produce some kind of trance-like psychedelic effect of switching the audience to another mode, to another program, and then they enrich the whole space. And if someone understands the language, it's a bonus. So I'm not demanding from the audience being educated in all these fields. In this perspective, it's not postmodern art. It's a different kind of practice. And then it's more about hearts. It's song. I'm a songwriter. I address hearts rather, and minds. It's not an opposition. Heart and mind, they must go together like right and left hand. They are friends. And then the other thing, at some point I started to incorporate Yiddish, French more intensely because they are spells, because they are foreign, and this emphasizing foreignness is important in this kind of art. Musically important, poetically important, energetically important. And then I started to travel more, and when I entered the klezmer community, I worked more together with non-Russian speaking musicians and songwriters such as Daniel Kahn, and then my audience became less Russian, less necessarily Russian. And then sometimes Russian was decorative, ornamental, spell-like language, and English was the basic language. Sometimes even Yiddish was the basic language. And this is a very interesting experience of singing, performing, and sometimes even writing in a language that you are just making your first steps in. But I've always insisted that to me, I never pretend to speak Yiddish or even English better than I do in my song. Most of my songs are translated into English by other people, but the song that I translated from Russian into English by myself, I never have proofread. I prefer them to stay lame, probably, if they are, because it's a true story about me and English, or it's a true story about me and Yiddish.